Yes! Wicked!
Hello! Welcome to All About the Bass. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Lee.
And today, very exciting news, because we've been waiting for quite a long time for these things, haven't we?
We have indeed.
Would you like to tell the boys and girls at home what we have here?
Absolutely. So, boys and girls, we have a brand new brand for us, shall we say. This is a range of basses called Sire, which Marcus Miller has been involved in creating and designing lots of parts of this bass to be going out onto the market, with the whole idea of making a professional bass at entry level money. Really, that is the whole idea. So Marcus Miller was approached by Sire with a few incarnations before this.
Sire are like an existing music company.
I believe that's right, and they approached him saying, look, we've got a bass here that we've made that we think can do exactly what yours does, but better, and at a lot cheaper price.
Right.
So Marcus Miller said at that point, it's like they pretty much had it, but I wanted to get involved and tweak certain things about pickups and preamps and everything. So,
so he really has been. It's not just stuck his name on this. He really has been hands-on.
Absolutely.
Design, yeah? Oh
yeah, absolutely. And this is sort of evolved from him being a Fender jazz bass nut as well, and loving the jazz basses, and keeping it in that same sort of style. But really, throughout the years, obviously he had some involvement with Fender, having his own signature models at some point.
Okay.
And really getting to a point where this is something that he's really, really, really proud of, and through a lot of people and parents and teachers coming to him and saying, you know, can you make something for about $300, $400, $500, obviously over in the States, but it's really made us sort of look at it, and we can sort of have it the same sort of money in pounds. So from about £350, this range starts from, up to about $750.
That is cheap, yeah. I mean, because I'm of a certain age, I know who Marcus Miller is, because he goes way back. But you know, I expect a lot of younger people might not know who he is. So what's the deal with Marcus Miller? What's his sort of history?
Yeah, so amazing session bass player is one little branch of his expertise, but also a composer, a writer, arranger, just an all-rounder as a musician and producer.
Very famously, he was a sideman with Miles Davis, wasn't he, for quite a while?
That's right. That's where he sort of shot to fame as part of Miles Davis's band. Miles Davis's band in the early '80s, I believe. So, but loads of credits. You go back through, and he's played with everyone. We were playing around. You may see in a bit if we can get it right. Never Too Much for Luther Vandross. That classic slap bass line. That was Marcus Miller. So he's had years and years of experience, and you know, being able to tweak a jazz bass sort of style and active preamps to giving you as much tonal versatility as possible for any sort of situation you'll find yourself in. So in studio or live, you've got something in here, hopefully, that will be able to do whatever you need.
He plays the clarinet as well. Did you know that?
No,
he does.
I didn't.
He does. I've seen him.
Amazing.
He sort of picks up a clarinet and has a bit of a go at that. Jazz funk clarinet. It's quite something to behold.
That's amazing.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, that's good, man. That's good.
These are one of the first ones, first models that were released, which is obviously in the jazz bass
very
sort
much
of style.
So, yeah.
Slightly different headstock, which is quite cool. It's a bit of a Marmite subject, whether love or hate it.
Yeah.
But
it's
I quite like
tricky,
it.
Though, isn't it?
It is. I think coming up with the new headstock shape, it's a very tricky thing. But I think it looks pretty cool. But everything for me is all about this 18-volt preamp that he has had, you know, sort of an arm in, basically just making them tweak it to make say something that's most versatile as possible. So,
Well, yeah, that's the first thing you sort of notice about it is obviously we've got a load of knobs going on here,
absolutely,
and it's got an active passive switch, right?
that's it.
Now that's a really handy thing because you don't get that in a load of basses, do you?
Nope.
Either it's one or the other.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's a good feature. I like that for a start.
Absolutely, yeah, and then it's really a couple of stacks knobs as you'll see here. So let's take you through it. So the first dial, as it were, here on the preamp. Again, this is the same on all the basses, guys. So literally throughout the range, we'll show you exactly the same preamp. So the first knob here is the master. You then have master volume. Yes, sorry, mate. Good shout. Master volume. This is an overall tone that's underneath the master volume there as well. So if you're in either active or passive mode, that still has an effect. So it's quite interesting, even though you're using the rest of the active EQ.
So is that more like the old-fashioned tone control, which basically just sort of takes the top end off it?
I think, yeah, absolutely. When we're sort of playing around with it, it will
because that's historically that's what the tone always used to do, wasn't it, on a bass?
Yeah,
basically
just roll it off and roll the treble off. Yeah, but it's quite nice because you've got the everything else here to play with, like treble, bass, and mid frequency. You can set that, and then you can just notch it off a little bit. Say if you want that mids to cut through still, but you don't want it as pokey, so you can use that as an overall tone, whatever you're doing. So, so that's your first dial here. You've then got the pickup balancer, pickup selector. So this has got a notch, as does this. So this is the first notch dial. Sorry. So notched, you're using both sweeping around to the neck or sweeping around to the bridge. Then you've got treble. Again, this is notched, so you can feel where you are as a cut or a boost. I'll skip this one just for a second, and that's your bass. This is your active passive switch as well, as we said. Now this is mid-frequency, and you can use this really to either bring in like your high mids or low mids, really sweeping around on the bottom dial here. You can sweep from like a high to low mid, so you pick your frequency you want to use, and then you've got a cut and boost on the top of this for how much you want to use of it. Okay. And as Marcus has actually said as well on some videos I've been watching that he's talking about this range, it's something that you can use very subtly. You don't want to use it full on all the time. Sometimes it can it can be a little bit too much, in the sound. But
sounds good. I like too much. That's my favourite. My favourite amount.
Never too much.
Hey. Oh look, that's all very well.
Yeah.
But should we see what it sounds like?
Absolutely, man.
I think that's the important bit, because now we've talked about this section, I think we should just listen to it now and show the folks what it does. Yeah.
Love it.
So you do your thing.
Okay.
And I'll do my thing down here. So we're going to start off in. Well, let's try it in passive.
Yeah, cool.
Right, which won't take long.
No.
And then after I've done with that, I'll switch it over to active, and then we'll see what that does.
Nice.
So we'll just do a bit of passive. I'll go between the pickups and this tone thing.
Yeah, cool.
And then I'll kick the active in, and we'll start doing that as well. Okay?
Nice. Yep, lovely
So
stuff.
We'll start off with a passive back pickup. It's very difficult to keep thinking of things to play, isn't it? Especially on one of these long...
It is.
Like,
sorry.
You lose the word live at some point.
Playing a lot of B and an E and E,
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, okay.
Every lick's gone. There's nothing left. I'm dry. Never mind. Well done. You did a fine job.
Thank you, mate.
Well, I mean, that's
man.
a lot of sounds in there, right?
There's loads to play with. Loads to play with.
I like that a lot. The first thing I noticed was switching between passive and active. Actually, when everything was set to kind of just like central.
Yeah.
There was no difference. There wasn't like any click, but there wasn't any boost or anything when I kicked to the passive.
When everything's on the notch, so it is ready to then just add that boost or to take away with the cut. Yeah,
that was
cool.
That was great. Passive sounded really nice.
Yeah, lovely.
You know.
And did you notice a bit in active as well using this? Did you ever have a little sort of play with that? Well, I was going to see what that did to the scope of the sound as well.
Not as such, but
no, that's cool. We'll have a little look.
It's just like an extra. Great, I'll go with it.
Yeah, no, it is great. It's great. But that is it. That it's just like an extra bit because you kind of don't really think once you've got your mid, your treble, and your bass, you've played around with that. You think, that's cool. But yeah, that's just another thing you can just play around with to bring it back.
There's no end to what this bass can do.
Absolutely.
It's limitless. All right, so that's what it sounds like. Oh, that's very cool. Now, this is like 18 volt, did you say?
It is indeed.
Batteries in the back?
Yes, so an 18 volt preamp that they use in all of the basses.
Okay.
So yeah, you need 2 of the 9 volt batteries to power it.
All right.
But yeah, just gives that extra bit of headroom.
So what bass is this, for instance, that we're looking at? What model is this?
Yeah, so this is the V7 Swamp Ash.
Right.
So
because I was going to say, this is a beautiful bit of wood, right?
It is, yeah. You have a choice on a lot of the range between either an alder body or an ash body.
Right.
The ash tends to just add a little bit more money, somewhere between £70 and £100, depending on if it's what model it is and if it's a 4 or 5 string.
Right.
But yeah, you've got that ash or alder combination where you can just choose which you want.
That's a proper bit of wood, though, isn't it? That's
it's gorgeous.
Some old tack.
Oh no, not at all. And so ash, if you want that slightly harder, more punchy sound, I tend to go for ash because it just cut through just a little bit more, especially with slap stuff. I think that normally sort of gets that sort of pokey sound to it if you need it. But otherwise, traditionally, if you refer to a Fender jazz bass, you find it's mostly alder, so that's where you've got that option as well. So
okay. Bridge, I was noticing you've got 2 options there too. You can have string through body.
Yes, you've got string through body, and also the option, as you say, man, you go straight for the bridge.
Okay.
The V7, this
what
one.
What is it? I can't remember. I've already forgotten. What is the difference between those two? What's the advantage of going string through body?
I mean, some people say that it's more sustain that you get through the body. Right. It's one of those debates.
That will make sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's sort of anchored more to the wood, isn't it? So.
I've always, if I've had a bass with it in, I've always just done it, but I've never necessarily tested, like against what going through the bridge or going through the body actually does, but meant to give you a bit more sustain. But on a V7 standard model like this, either Swamp, Ash or Alder, you get the big chunky high mass bridge on here, so more of a modern style bridge. Obviously, more going on down here, the more sustain you can get as well. These are what they call the super jazz pickups, again, which Marcus Miller has had a hand in tweaking for this particular bass. And as you'll see, when we go through the range, they do another model called the V7 Vintage, which is another jazz bass, but everything is, all the appointments and the pickups are voiced to be more of a vintage sound. So they're slightly lower wind. You've got a vintage style bridge. It's this one just here actually, but we'll get on to having a look at this one because this is, you'll see that slightly more traditional Fender bridge.
Yeah, you've still got the string through.
String through if you need still, black block inlays, vintage voice pickups, and you get the...
binding on the neck there, that's the old
that's it, black binding. And then you get the little pickup cover as well, the neck pickup cover with the vintage style as well.
The playing inhibitor, as we like to call it.
Which doesn't do anything really. This was the first style of. Apparently, Leo Fender just didn't like to look at the coils on a pickup.
Right.
So this is where this came from. Like original Telecasters and everything had the little ashtray cover in the bridge as well. Yeah. This was what was on the jazz basses, and Marcus Miller just says, He doesn't do anything. It's just he learned with one of these on, and he can't play without it now. You know, just the way it's positioned. Yeah, you think for a big sort of slab.
He actually keeps it on, does he?
Yeah, he's got the neck pickup on. So
wow.
neck pickup cover on. So so yeah, it's not for everyone, but that literally will just screw straight into the scratch plate if you wanted to use it. Okay. One thing that's also probably worth mentioning. You'll see that there's certain finishes and certain neck options, so like maple and rosewood or burst finishes and solid colours. It's worth mentioning that not every colour and neck configuration is available. It depends on what bodywood you're getting. So that's where you probably want to look on the site. We've got everything that's possibly available online. So that's where you can see what colours come with what type of base, as it were. So yeah, that is as a quick run through. Obviously, we've got a 5-string here as well. But it's all about the pricing. You know, for what you're getting built into these bases with the preamp and the quality of the finishing, they start from 379 out of the ones that we've got here for the.
I think it was the one I was playing.
That was indeed, mate. Yeah, that one.
379.
379.
Oh well, that is.
Yeah,
that's
and
very
this,
reasonable.
Because it's ash. This is 429. So another 50 odd quid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not much between the two.
It's amazing.
But yeah, really at kind of entry to going up to mid price point, but with pro spec, as it were.
It's worth noting that they play really nicely too. These bases, you know, it's not all, it's not like it looks great, but then it feels horrible. You know, it's actually got the proper, you know, the neck profiles. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very authentic. So that's cool, and also nice, easy truss rod adjustment.
Oh yeah, good shout. Yep, absolutely.
Because I just had to tweak this one because they're just out the box. So you just literally get your Allen key, shove it in there, tighten or slacken it off,
and you're ready to go.
And you're ready to go.
That's it.
Cool.
So yeah, no, it's been a real great thing to see you come into the store. I mean, there's hardly anyone in the UK involved, you know, with the brand. So there's a couple of other retailers, but we are by far the biggest stockist now. We've got hundreds of bases coming through. Our first shipment of a couple of hundred is flying out already, and this is the first video that we're putting on. Yeah. It's really just by word of mouth and some professional bass players coming in saying, you know, like I came in, I originally tried to buy one of these as a backup to my Fender. It's now the one I use. It's my first choice of bass, and the Fender is the backup. I've heard so many people say that, and as a Fender fan myself, you know, this is why I've been really, really keen to get them in my hands as well and just try them out. And I'm just blown away. Yeah, really am blown away. So now, because it's at the price point it is, we're getting people saying, "All right, cool. Well, I'll have an ash one, an alder one, a 4-string, a 5-string," and there's, you know, and that's it. We've got fretlesses coming through very, very shortly, so there'll be that things. But just where they're priced, people can kind of be like, "Well, I'll have a few," you know.
So it's not just jazz basses, is it? They're doing a P bass.
That's right. We'll go check out the next video. We'll have one of those coming through. So we've got the P bass shape, which is a brand new model for them. They've just introduced. Okay. More of a PJ style, like the PJ Special, because it's got the jazz pickup in as well. Okay, good. But you've got the split P bass pickup. Right. They've also got the M series, which is a double cutaway humbucker. Bass with 24 frets, so more of a modern style of bass. So we'll have a look. We'll do a little episode on that as well then. Absolutely, yeah. And then the other one we've got in at the moment is the V9, which is another new addition to the range, brand new bass, and that is basically another jazz bass, but slightly different style. No scratch plate, a solid maple top to it with a quilt veneer as well. So it looks stunning. Fender released a guitar years ago called the American Deluxe FMT or QMT, and it's that sort of style of bass. So yeah, check those out. We'll do them in a second in another video. But thought we'd just introduce you to the brand, give you a bit of history, and say just if there's any type that you're looking for, we've got them all online. But say you'll see over the next few months, there's lots and lots coming through. So we've got a bass to suit anyone really. A bass for all occasions. Absolutely. And Christmas is coming. This is it. Well, this is it. You know, we did the 5-string, you know, best 5-string under 500 quid video that we did, and you know, we were saying then it's like the Yamaha was the winner, the TRBX 305 at the time. Yeah. 360 quid. But I did say at the time, you know, it'd be nice to see what these come out as because it's not similar, you know, not too different in price. But with the 18-volt preamp as well, it might be something different for people to look at under that sort of price range. Yeah. Oh, so how much is that? The 5? So the 5-string older is 429. Okay. 429 for a 5-string jazz like that with say big chunky bridge, 18-volt preamp, So yeah, I might have to change my mind from what I want one. And I'm just trying to decide on colour really now. What type? Well, like so hopefully this video will help me.
Like I say, Christmas is coming, so maybe somebody will buy you one.
Yeah,
not me.
Maybe.
Buy one. Cool. Okay. Well, there's your overview for the Sire Marcus Miller range of basses.
Yes.
There'll be lots more coming, so you know, keep watching the show, because over the next couple of weeks we're going to show you some of the other basses, the P basses and the M series that you talked about.
Yep, absolutely.
And great if you know, just come and check it out, watch us again. In the meantime,
yes,
this has been all about the bass. Hope you've enjoyed watching the show. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Lee.
And hopefully we'll see you next time. And we'll play you out with a bit of, I don't know, you might know this.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hope you like our
version. I'll get this right. See you soon.
You ready?
No.
2, 3, 4.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Andertons Guitar YouTube channel. If you're a drummer or a keyboard player or interested in music technology, you might find one of our other channels interesting, and I'll put details of those in the description below. If you want to find out more about the products we've just featured, please click here. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt like this, please click here. If you want to watch another video on our guitar channel, click down here. And to subscribe to our guitar channel, click here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.